When I was looking online for the best budget 4K HDR gaming TV, I looked all over Google and YouTube, but no matter where I looked, I still had questions. So after researching myself, I've found the best budget HDR 4K gaming TV, and I'm making this video to tell you everything you need to know about how this is the best one. This is the Samsung UE40MU6120K. It costs £379.99 and it's 40 inches, and I've also linked it in the description. In this video I'm covering the specs, how it looks when gaming, how it looks when watching movies and TV, how it performs when gaming, how it performs when watching movies and TV, how it sounds, how the TV itself looks, the connections, using it for PC, cool features you probably didn't know it had, and if it's worth it. This TV is Edgelit, which is both an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is that it's thinner than direct lit TVs, but the disadvantage is that the light comes from the edges of the screen, which means that light can sometimes leak, and normally means that blacks aren't as black as they could be, but on this TV, blacks are black. The processing rate is 1300 PQI, which I don't know why Samsung put that, because that means nothing to anyone. So I had to go on a Facebook Messenger chat with Samsung and ask about the TV, and they told me that the motion rate is 100 Hz, which means that it's a smooth picture, and if anything's in motion it doesn't look blurry or juddery. Another thing I had to ask Samsung on the chat is if this TV supports HDR10, and it does, which is good because the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro both only display HDR on your TV if your TV is HDR10. So this TV is HDR10, which means you can play your games in HDR. It also has built-in Wi-Fi, an Ethernet socket, Bluetooth, two speakers at both 20 watts, and inside the box you get the TV, a remote controller, a battery, and a user manual. How does it look when you're gaming? Really good. There are so many colours, all of them are high contrasting, and with HDR it looks even better. But the only thing is that you can't have HDR mode on as well as game mode on. So if you're wanting to game, you have to choose between HDR mode or game mode, and there's a big delay if you don't have game mode on, so I'd recommend having game mode on and HDR mode off, which is quite annoying, but I've looked up online and this TV technically is capable of doing it, but there just needs to be an update which will allow both of these modes to be on at the same time. It also upscales games to 4K, at least higher than 1080p if not 4K, but every game I've put in my Xbox so far has been higher than 1080p with this TV, which is really good, and I didn't expect that would happen. And because of the high motion rate, the games look really smooth and there's a low motion blur, which is good and makes the picture look a lot better. How does it perform when you're gaming? Again, really good. There's a low input lag when the game mode is on, and games are playable without game mode on and with HDR mode on if you want that, but it's best not to play games like Call of Duty where you need to be fast and accurate, because with a high input lag it will be hard to get the kills on point, because I tried playing Call of Duty with gaming mode off and I just had to turn it straight on. There's not much more I can say about performance other than that I've had no problems with the TV and it's worked perfectly from the day I got it. How does it look when you're watching movies and TV? For the third time in a row, really good. The blacks are black and the bright colours are very bright. Now, I'm not sure about movies, but when I go on TV channels it upscales all of the picture to possibly 4K, but if not, at least higher than 1080p. How does it perform when watching movies and TV? Again, the motion rate is high, meaning that the picture is smooth and that there's less of a blur whenever anything is in motion. This makes for a clear picture, and there's nothing really that I can say is bad about it. How does it sound? The TV isn't extremely thin, meaning that the speakers don't have to be tiny or like they are low quality in any way. I've heard people complain about the speakers on this TV while reading some reviews, but after hearing the TV myself, I know that the speakers are actually decent. How does the design of the TV look? Modern, thin and expensive, and from looking at it from the side, it's thinner than it looks on all the pictures online. When you're looking at the picture now you might still think that's not thin, but whenever you film it, it looks thicker than it actually is for some reason, but it is thinner than what you can see. It's also lighter than what I thought it would have been. Connections. There are 3 HDMI ports, 2 USB 2.0 ports, a LAN port, a digital audio out, satellite port and AV ports. What's it like as a PC monitor? Brilliant. I've got everything on my PC on a big screen now and all in 4K. You can also go into the settings of your TV to set it up as a monitor so that the input lag is lower. And I don't notice any delay at all. It definitely is good as a monitor and as a TV. Are there any cool features? You can stream your Steam games from your PC to your TV using Steam Link. You can cast your phone screen to your TV using screen mirroring. You can use your phone as a remote control. You can cast YouTube to your TV, and it's a smart TV, so you can get apps and games on it. But the games aren't really that good. And finally, is it worth it? Is it worth upgrading to 4K? Yes. Is it as good as other 4K HDR TVs in the same price range? Yes. When I was researching about 4K TVs, I asked Currys what the best budget 4K HDR TV is for gaming, and they basically said that this one is, because they said all of the 4K HDR TVs are pretty much the same up until £500, then they start getting better. So if your budget is £500, you might as well get this TV. So that's the end of my review. I hope I've covered everything. If not, please comment any questions or anything that I've missed, and I'll read through them all, answer them all to my best. And I pretty much know everything about 4K TVs now because I researched them that much just to find the best, cheapest 4K HDR TV, so I'm sure I'll be able to answer your question. And also let me know if you find this helpful by hitting the like button and sharing it for other people to know what the best 4K budget HDR gaming TV is. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.